Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sofia Konita. My number is 8320200176. Content-based instruction. Background. CBI has been very popular the last 20 years, particularly in the USA and Canada for its effectiveness in ESL immersion programs. The interest has now spread to EFL classrooms around the world, including Indonesia. We can trace CBI root to the late 97s, to which Windows promote the association of foreign language text with topics from subject in the school curriculum to give students the opportunity to use language for meaningful communication and to connect their school experience with the outside world. CBI has experienced rapid growth for the past 20 years and is poised to continue to influence foreign language teaching. In English-speaking countries with high ESL population, the impetus for the growth of CBI comes from the necessity of mainstream ESL students as quickly and successfully as possible. In English, as foreign language settings, interest comes from paradigm shift from traditional methods of language teaching towards communicative language teaching practice. Now, it is believed that an ideal situation for language learning would be the content or the subject matter from outside the domain of language. The language being taught could be used to present subject matter, and the student would learn the language as a byproduct of learning about the real world content. We can trace CBI root to the late 97s, in which Windows promote the association of foreign language teaching with topics taken from subject in the social curriculum to give students the opportunity to use language for meaningful communication and to connect their school experience. Definition. Content-based instruction is a teaching method that emphasizes learning a subject or content through language rather than learning about language. A teaching method that emphasizes learning a subject or content through language rather than learning about language. It is also defined as an approach to language instruction that integrates the presentation of topic or task from subject matters classes, example, math or social studies, with the content of teaching second of foreign language. The rationale of the adoption of CBI. First is bilingualism education. Bilingualism is correlates with creative thinking. This is probably because bilingual possess two or more words representing a single object or idea, which allow them more flexibility and richness of thought. First is bilingualism education. Bilingualism is correlates with creative thinking. This is probably because bilingual possess two or more words representing a single object or idea, which allow them more flexibility and richness of thought. Second is educational and cognitive psychology. Anderson, a cognitive psychologist, has proposed a cognitive learning for instruction that integrates attention to content and language. In this theory, aduh, bentar. Oh my god, ini kenapa agak kelihatan? Ini dulu. Nggak apa deh. Bentar. Mana sih? Oh. Educational and cognitive psychology. Anderson, a cognitive psychologist, has proposed a cognitive learning theory for instruction that integrates attention to content and language. In this theory, skills and knowledge now follow a general sequence of state of learning. First is the cognitive stage, second is the associative stage, and the third is autonomous stage. And the second is second language acquisition. Underlying principles. Richards and Rogers state that CBI is grounded on three basic principles. First is learning a second language will be more successful when learners use the language as a means of acquiring information rather than as an end in itself. CBI reflects learner need for earning a second language. CBI in typical student-centered approach. Third is learning a second language will be more successful when the information is interesting, useful, and leading to the desired goal. And the next is the model of CBI. The instructional experience in which students engage may be split to. First is content-driven program. Is in this part, student learning of content is more important than language learning. Second is language-driven programs. Language has primacy and content facilities language growth. And the next is type of CBI. First is content-driven. There is total immersion, partial immersion, and sheltered course. And second is language-driven. There are a young model and them test course.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Farida and my student number is A320-200-175. I would like to explain the classroom techniques in this content-based instruction or CBI. So there are varieties of strategies and techniques used in content-centered second language instruction. There are 4 types of strategies. The first one, we have cooperative learning. So what is cooperative learning? Cooperative learning is students of different linguistic and education backgrounds and different skill levels work together on a common task for a common goal in either the language or the content classroom. Depending on their language proficiency, student can be assigned various roles as a facilitator, recorder, reporter, or also the illustrator. Next. The second, we have task-based or experiential learning. So in this approach, appropriate contexts are provided for developing thinking and study skill as well as language and academic concepts for students of different levels of language proficiency. The third one, we have graphic organizer. This provider means for organizing and presenting information so that it can be understood, remembered, and applied by Crandall, 1992. So graphs, realia, tables, maps, flowcharts, timelines, and Venn diagrams are used to help students place information obtained from written or oral text, develop reading strategies, increase retention, activate schema as pre-reading or pre-listening activity, and also organize ideas during the pre-writing stage. Next. The fourth, we have whole language approach. The philosophy of whole language is based on the concept that students need to experience language as an integrated whole. It focuses on the need for an integrated approach to language instruction within a context that is meaningful to students. Whole language strategies that have been implemented in CBI classes include dialogue journals, reading response journals, learning logs, process-based writing, and also language experience stories. Next. So the next, we have CBI in Indonesian context. In its vision, Sekolah Global Jaya expects students to develop communication skills and to actualize their academic potential in both English and Indonesian. Therefore, English and Indonesian are used as the language of instruction bilingual education. This enables the students to understand various concepts in both languages. To improve the students' proficiency in both English and Indonesian, these languages are also part of curriculum subjects. English taught by expatriates, teachers from Australia, USA, and the UK, whereas Indonesian teachers teach Indonesian. So here are the subjects from English strands, Indonesian strands, and also the bilingual strands. In English strands, we have it covers the subjects like spelling bee, English structure and grammar, reading for meaning in English, and listening and speaking in English. Meanwhile, in Indonesian strands, subjects like Indonesian grammar and vocabulary. The second one, we have appropriate use of formal and informal language by speaking and writing. The third one, we have poetry. The fourth, we have reading for meaning in Indonesian. The third one, we have bilingual strands. It covers subjects like handwriting, writing convention, library skills, research skills, students' attitude and profile, producing orally and in writing the key text type. And the last, we have report, narrative story, recount personal experience, explanation, exposition, and etc. Next. So, as a media of instruction, English is used to teach subjects such as English language, mathematics, science, and arts. Meanwhile, in Indonesian, is used to teach Indonesian language and also religion. And also the bilingual English and Indonesian are used to teach sport and also humanities. Next. So here we are now in closing. So what is CBI model? CBI model provides a rich context for teaching the foreign language skills as well as study skill. CBI teacher, therefore, should be responsible for presenting subject matter in a more comprehensive way to second language students. They are challenged to modify the instruction that can develop students' second language proficiency. The classroom can be organized in such a way that collaborative learning among students may take place. Thus, it promotes students to become autonomous learners. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.